The Saints are adding more help to their secondary, this time in the form of Louisville cornerback Quincy Riley. We'll talk about the pick right here on the Straight Up Saints podcast.
You're listening to the Straight Up Saints podcast.
What is up, Who Dat Nation? Welcome inside another edition of the Straight Up Saints podcast. I'm your host, Chris Voglu. The Saints just made their second pick of the fourth round, second pick of day 3, and it is Quincy Riley from Louisville. Truthfully, not a prospect that I watched a ton of in college outside of, sparingly paying attention to Louisville games when they're on TV on Saturdays. But in reality, I think for this pick, here's where I see it, especially after briefly paying attention to what this type of player can bring to the Saints. If he can be a solid run defender, and obviously that's tough when you're a cornerback, that's not exactly what you're valuing, but if he could be a solid run defender, I wonder if the Saints view Quincy as the type of guy they can throw in at the slot. I think he is a thumper. He clearly is not your traditional outside corner, more of a chess piece that I think Brandon Staley type, those type of DBs that he really likes to utilize. So I think that's my question. But look, you guys can go back to yesterday. You guys can go back to, our coverage on Thursday as it was. I mentioned the Saints needed to add a DB at some point. At some point, they needed to go out there and make sure they could get another corner in the room because they have a decision to make with Alontae Taylor. Like, Kool-Aid McKinstry is obviously going to be one of your outside corners next season. I don't think that's really, up for debate. He's going to be on the boundary for this Saints team. But what are you going to do with Alontae Taylor? Is he going to be in the slot? Is he going to be on the outside? And the reason I mention, what if Quincy Riley ends up being the slot is if that's the case, then maybe Alontae is the outside guy. Maybe he continues to be a boundary corner that the Saints utilize. So I think that is the question for sure. But look, when you watch Quincy Riley, I think you see some pretty active hands, which you need as a corner. I think, again, the Saints are valuing guys that are kind of thumpers. That's been a big thing for them. Now, for him, I think for New Orleans, there is that adjustment when you get to the pros. The biggest knock I saw on him was, is his hip movement going to be good enough? So those are questions I'll be answered. What I will say is I do like New Orleans' track record when it comes to DBs. That's one position you have to give them credit for. And I know Saints fans don't give them credit for a lot these days, but if there is one, it is that position group at corner. So Quincy Riley joining the Saints, get another pick on the defense. I believe that is my math serves me correctly, I believe that's a third pick in a row I believe that they got on defense, or fourth pick, excuse me. So you got Vernon Broughton from Texas. Then you got Jonas Sanker from Virginia, Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma, and now going Louisville with Quincy Riley. So the Saints are trying to add more depth to what has been a depleted defense. I think they've done that. Now, again, they still have 3 more picks in this draft. They don't pick again until the 6th round unless they decide to move up, which they could if they like a weapon. I kind of think that's where they should go at this point. Get yourself a pass catcher, get yourself a running back, especially in a running back heavy draft. I think that'd be ideal for New Orleans. But look, if they go defense again, maybe on the D-line, I'm not going to complain about it. This is something I tweeted about, and I feel very adamant about it. A lot of Saints fans are going to be frustrated with this draft and say, hey, man, we didn't get an offensive weapon. And I get the frustration. My only counterpoint is that I think the Saints have areas of need everywhere. This is not a good football team. So, when they get a corner, I'm going to say, yeah, that was a position need because damn straight it was. And when they get a linebacker like they did in Danny Stutzman, I'll say, hey, they needed a linebacker. But look, when you're at this point in a franchise's, development, you could get a position anywhere and I'll be okay with it. I really am okay with wherever the Saints go here. I would love for them just to add a weapon just to see what they could do in Kellen Moore's system. But I understand them adding some talent here to the defense. But Quincy Riley, latest pick for New Orleans. Let me know what you think about it. I know this isn't the most thrilling of picks for the Saints to make. And as the draft obviously progresses, the picks get less and less thrilling because you're dealing with maybe less substance. But let me know what you guys think about the pick. And as always, guys, make sure to subscribe to Boo Crew Media because we'll have videos for the next couple of selections that the Saints make. So keep it here with the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for the Who Dat Nation.